What is up, people of the internet? The Freedom Astrologer once again here, and this is another installment of the 10-minute spirituality podcast. So, for those of you who don't know, the 10-minute spirituality podcast is for the spiritual seeker who really is tired of the bullshit in the spiritual community and wants a more practical, rational approach and understanding to all these weird things and not so weird things as well that are going on inside and outside of us. So in this episode, I'm going to talk about, I would say, a very important topic and theme that's been with me for, I think, 10 years, easily 10 years. And that's living through your heart. So I must admit, personally, I got introduced to this concept of the heart-based or living from the heart type of approach, I think around 10 years ago. And again, I'm almost embarrassed to admit that I kind of subscribed to that for a very short period of time in my life because it made sense. And the teachers and the spiritual teacher who kind of conveyed these ideas to me made sense for at least for a very short while, because when you're coming from a very head type space and now you're saying, oh, you live through your heart and just love everybody and there's a lot of good emotions and vibes and all that good stuff is kind of like a good change for a while. But once you ground yourself again, because the heart is a chakra, it's an energy center. So if that goes and blows up too wide and the chakra is spinning out of control, you start to lose track of reality and start to lose contact with reality, actually. So you start to think everybody's a good person and just you want to love everybody, but that doesn't really work in this society. If you look around and if you even go walk on the streets and go to shops or whatever, you can see not everybody is a good person, and you definitely don't need to love them. 100% you don't need to love everybody. This is a crazy notion with this hard space living. And again, the grounding is important because you start to lose track of what is actually going on, and you start to live in this almost illusionary, delusional reality where your heart is open and there's a lot of love pouring out and in, but the outside isn't usually very receptive. And I also want to say, because the material reality here needs our active participation. It needs to need to pay bills, need to do a career, work, job, parenting. There's a lot of things going on that you can't really solve or even approach with the I will only approach it through the heart and I will only live it through the heart space. So you need to solve a mathematical equation. Now, how are you going to do that with the heart? You can't do it. You need the mind. You need to plan your vacation with your family. You can't do that through the heart. I must add, like, people, come on, like, it doesn't work like that. Where you can, when you use the heart space energy or heart energy or living through the heart, these places where you need empathy and when you need emotional closeness. This is where you can open your heart chakra, with your partner in times of intimacy, just even in conversation with your partner when you're talking about deep things and intimate things, even with your children. At times you can open your heart and let the heart energy flow. But like, even in these spaces, you need to know how to shift it. You need to know how to be in your mind. You need to know how to combine the mind and the heart energy. It doesn't work only, oh, I'll just open my heart and I just love everybody. Come on, it's stupid. It's crazy. It's completely delusional, I would say. I'm having even a hard time, kind of like looking back at my own experience. It's like I believed, like 10 years ago, there was a short period literally where I believed some of this nonsense. So let's summarize a little bit. You can't only use the heart. You can't only live through the heart space energy, you need all sorts of senses. You need your mind. I think one of the worst things for, let's say, quote unquote spiritual person to do is to neglect your mind. Your mind is one of the things that is keeping you here on planet Earth, and you need to be on planet Earth, despite what some sort of weird spiritual teacher or guru is telling you. Need to be on your mind. You don't need to float all the time in the astral realms and all these other places. You need to be here as well. Do your business here, and then, you know, when you have time, you can go and go about your business in the other realms. But you need to stay grounded and live the human experience, and I would say as practically as possible, you know, because, you know, you're floating there, your heart is open and you're loving everybody, but what about the people close to you? What about, you know, your career? What about, you know, the daily grind? What about these things? You know, these are important things to take care of. And yeah, just floating there with your open heart isn't going to do the actual work necessary to be a human being on planet Earth. So let's not do that. Let's understand that this is a balancing act. You need all of your senses. You need to look. You need to feel. You need to have an open heart. You need to, sometimes, I would say 100%, you need to you need to close it from the people who are abusing and misusing that energy, or your energy even. And you need to use your mind in tandem with the heart, because the heart is very, I would still say it's very emotionally involved as well, and there's very pure energy there. But, you know, in our material reality, you can't really only act from that pure love kind of flowy kind of place. It just doesn't work at all. You can try it, but you're really quickly going to see that it's really crazy and it's really stupid. And the people who are teaching it and the people who are actually saying this are probably pretty crazy. And they're crazy because they're floating in these energies, and they can't go into one energy and the other energy, and they can't keep it grounded. You just can't. They don't have the capacity. So one very good rule I always have in life is like, look at the person who is giving teaching. Like, how do they have, you know, their shit together? Do they have at least some of their shit together? Like, can they do the basic stuff? And very often these people who live through the heart all the time, they don't have their shit together. They don't have it together at all. They're just too much in their feelings. They just can't do anything in the practical world, or if they do anything in the practical world, it's kind of like fluffy and it just doesn't work, basically. So yeah, keep yourself grounded, open your heart. That's a good thing, but learn to move through these energies, learn to use these energies, not just blindly be in, just be, because it's really easy to just be with an open heart and just let everything flow, and I love everybody, and it's all light and love and blah blah blah. No, it's not. It's darkness, and it's people abusing you. It's people trying to take advantage of you, and there's a lot of bad people in spirituality. Just keep that as a reminder. Like, everybody who's trying to pretend that they're so spiritual and so such a spiritual person, they're not that always. There's manipulation going on all over the place in this spiritual realm, and even I would say sometimes more, because it's so covert and so hidden. People hide their intentions, and even when they have their, they say they're, my heart is open and I'm so loving, they're not that actually. Just these are just the words that they're saying. So always observe the people who you're taking that teaching from, and look, are they somewhat, I know everybody's kind of crazy on planet Earth, obviously, but do they have at least some of their things together, like a little bit even? And I'm betting on most of them who only talk about like heart, energy, love, they don't have it together. So guys, yeah, this is usually the time where I'm supposed to like tell to subscribe and follow or whatever, and like and comment or whatever. It's like really decided I don't want to do that. I kind of don't care. So my intention actually for this is, if you want to unfollow, if you want to unscribe, if you want to go and live your life actually on planet Earth, I suggest, and I would rather be, I would be make that would make me a lot happier if you just go out and live your life, and spend time with your family, spend time with your kids, and do good work, which would be amazing. So do that instead, guys, and maybe I'll see you in the next episode.